fix.
You want me to tee it up?
Yeah, why don't you?
So, friend of the program, if you want to call him that, Andy Staples, recently discussed Texas and Oklahoma's move to the SEC, and more specifically, where Texas belongs in the pecking order of SEC schools. He put them on the same tier as Florida, with a handful of jobs better than Texas. Mm-hmm. And, buddy, Texas fans did not like that. A very popular Texas blog called Burnt Orange Nation really took exception to it and said that Texas, when it joins the SEC, will be better than every job in the conference except for maybe Alabama, is what they said. Hubris is kind of the reason why Texas has been such a failure over the last, almost 2 decades. But let's look at it realistically. In reality, when Texas and Oklahoma join the SEC, where are they in the pecking order of jobs in the conference?
Can I answer this 2 ways?
Sure.
They could be the best program in the SEC, not named Alabama. That could be the best job in the SEC other than Alabama. But currently it's not in the top 5. Alabama clearly is better. Georgia is a better job and is a better program. LSU is a better job and is a better program. Now, I have to put an asterisk on LSU as both a better job and as a better program right now. And maybe it's not fair to do that because of, but I mean, LSU's 2 years removed from a national championship. 2. Texas is 2006. Yeah, I was doing the math. 2005 season, that's 17 years removed from a national championship. And it's not like Texas has been a whole lot more stable than LSU has been. LSU's a mess, but they're going to be fine. They're going to fix it, and Brian Kelly's a really, really good football coach. So, Alabama's a better job. Georgia's a better job. LSU is a better job. I agree that maybe in the same tier as Florida. Here's my question, and boy, this would really rankle the feathers of Texas fans. Is Texas A&M currently a better job than Texas?
I would say yes.
Staples ranked them as such. So for this one, Michael, if you said it and I just missed it, but he set it up where you had to be able to win a national title to be ranked. So normally, he did this a few months back, and he ranked Kentucky as the number 1 job in America because Stoops can just win 8-9 games, 7-8-9 games every year, and be the coach forever. So
with a lot of money.
That. And make a lot of money. I like the reasoning there. But for this particular balance, or this particular ballot, you had to be a true national championship contender.
Okay.
I mean, once you add Oklahoma, Texas is behind them as well.
Which would make them 6th.
At best. Right, yeah. At best.
I think
so there you go.
Texas A&M is currently a better job than Texas. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of – go ahead.
No, just really hot take here just for a second. Both Ole Miss and Mississippi State have been closer to a national title in the playoff era than Texas at any point.
It's true.
Say that out loud. Both Ole Miss and Mississippi State have been closer to a national title in the playoff era than the Texas Longhorns. By a fairly significant margin. I'm sorry, Borky.
No,
carry on.
That's not even hot take. That's just speaking facts as we know them. I like to poke fun at Texas A&M. It's a weird place, interesting place.
That's weird.
I don't know how Ross Bjork was able to get the job that he currently has. It makes no sense to me, but he's got it. But one thing you can't argue about Texas A&M is, at least based on appearances, they are all pulling the rope in the same direction. They are a place with resources that are hard to fathom, including money for NIL deals despite their denials, and a talent-rich state with stunning facilities, and they are all pulling the rope in the same direction. They all want Jimbo Fisher to be successful, and they all will do anything to make Jimbo Fisher successful. Texas, on the other hand, has all of those identical resources, unfathomable amount of money, and that rope is getting pulled all different ways. There's hubris and worse, toxicity. Go ahead.
They could be the number one program in terms of those things, though. They'd have to fight with Auburn.
Yeah.
But they could get there.
And so the simple question is, if you're this great program, then why don't you win? It's their own fault, but they don't win. And now you can say, well, what has A&M won? They've been higher profile. They've been more consistent. I promise you, if Kansas went to College Station this year, they wouldn't lose.
Texas A&M wouldn't.
Texas A&M wouldn't lose. I mean, Kevin Sumlin, who they fired, was more successful than Texas has been since 2009.
And this isn't like pile on Texas time. Because, as I said earlier, I do think Texas is capable of being the second best program in the SEC and being the second best job in the SEC. But Sark's got a lot of work to do. And look, Steve Sarkisian, to the people who were close to him and to his athletics director, Chris Del Conte, who's really good at his job, said internally, guys, this is going to take a minute. Now, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to listen to it. But it does sound like his boss at least was listening. Because Sark laid out the reasons why it was going to take a minute. He also laid out the plan for how he was going to get Texas back to where Texas fans believe they are, or at least believe they should be. We're going to have to wait and see how long it takes and if he actually gets there. But Texas has got all the money. They got great facilities. They got a great recruiting base. And I think they got a really good head coach. But they're going to have to prove it, right? I mean, you can have all of those things, but you still got to go out and win games. Georgia has had all of those things forever. And it took them 40 years to get over the hump. Alabama has all of those things. Frankly, everybody in the SEC has all of those things. Everybody's got money, even Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Everybody's got good facilities, even Mississippi State and Ole Miss. I mean, you can take Vanderbilt out of the equation. You can take Missouri out of the equation if you want to. Everybody else, though, cares. It's not like Texas is this, there's this gulf between Texas and everybody else in terms of resources anymore. And it's not like anybody in the SEC is getting any poorer between now and the time that Texas officially becomes a member of the Southeast.